Well, folks, it's here. The much-hyped Superman, James Gunn's shiny new toy to kick off the rebooted DC Universe. I walked into the theater with cautious hope, thinking maybe, just maybe, this could capture a fraction of the mythic grandeur we got in Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Not even close. This is 10 minutes of me unloading why this film is a chaotic, overstuffed mess that makes me miss the Snyderverse like a kid misses their favorite blanket. Buckle up, because this is going to be a bumpy ride through Metropolis. And trust me, it's not a fun one. Let's start with the plot, or should I say, the plots. Plural. Because apparently, James Gunn thought the best way to introduce the new Man of Steel was to cram half the DC universe into a 2-hour runtime. We've got David Corn's Wet Superman, who's fine, I guess, but he's drowning in a sea of side characters. Lois Lane? Rachel Brosnahan tries, but she's given about as much depth as a post-it note. Lex Luthor? Nicholas Holt's doing his best, but he feels like a discount tech bro villain. Then there's Mr. Terrific Hawkgirl, Green Lantern Guy Gardner, and, oh, let's not forget, Krypto the Super Dog, who gets more screen time than Clark Kent's actual character development. Seriously? A dog? I'm all for cute pups. But when Krypto's stealing the spotlight from Superman, you've lost the plot, literally. The story's supposed to be about Superman reconciling his Krypton-Ian heritage with his human upbringing, but it's buried under a pile of subplots and cameos that scream franchise setup, instead of, telling a coherent story. It's like Gunn took a blender, tossed in Guardians of the Galaxy's humor, a dash of Justice League's team-up vibes, and a whole lot of CGI, then hit puree. The result? A narrative smoothie that tastes like regret. Now, let's talk tone. If you thought Man of Steel was too dark, well, buckle up for the opposite extreme. This film is so light and quippy, it feels like it's auditioning for the MCU. Every other line is a joke, and not even good ones. It's like Gunn forgot Superman's supposed to be an inspiring symbol of hope, not a stand-up comedian. The Daily Beast's leaked review called it superficial and silly, and for once, I agree with them. This movie lacks the emotional weight that made Snyder's Superman feel like a god among men, grappling with his place in the world. Instead, we get a Superman who feels like he's one bad day away from starring in a TikTok skit. And don't get me started on the CGI. It's like they spent the entire budget on Krypto's fur and forgot how to make Metropolis look real. The city feels like a green screen afterthought, not the lived-in, gritty world Snyder gave us in Batman v Superman. Remember that scene where Superman's hovering above the flooded city, his eyes glowing with resolve? That's the kind of iconic imagery this film desperately needed. Instead, we get cartoonish action sequences that look like they were ripped from a Saturday morning cartoon. David Corn's Wet as Superman. He's trying, bless his heart, but he's stuck in Henry Cavill's shadow, and the script doesn't give him a chance to shine. Cavill as Clark was a brooding, complex figure, a man torn between two worlds, carrying the weight of humanity's hopes. Corn's Wet Superman feels like a generic nice guy who happens to fly. The review from the Daily Beast nailed it when they said he's overshadowed by the film's chaos. There's no moment where you feel his struggle, his sacrifice, or his heart. It's all surface-level heroics with zero depth. The supporting cast doesn't fare much better. Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner is a walking punchline, not a Green Lantern. Isabella Merced's Hawkgirl feels like she wandered in from another movie. And don't even get me started on Sean Gunn's Maxwell Lord cameo, because nothing says epic Superman story like a nepotistic nod to the director's brother. The only character with any spark is Krypto, and even then, I'm pretty sure the dog was CGI half the time. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the Snyderverse. Say what you want about Zack Snyder, but the man knew how to make Superman feel larger than life. Man of Steel gave us a Superman who is a beacon of hope, but also a tragic figure, wrestling with his identity in a world that feared him. The visuals were breathtaking. Those sweeping shots of Clark flying through the skies, the destruction of Metropolis that felt real and consequential. Even Batman v Superman, flawed as it was, dared to explore Superman's divinity and humanity in ways this new film can't even dream of. Gunn's Superman feels like a betrayal of that vision. Where Snyder gave us a mythic, almost biblical take on the character, Gunn's version is a popcorn flick that prioritizes quips over substance. Snyder's films weren't perfect, but they had ambition. They had weight. It's like a Saturday Night Live parody of a superhero movie. The Snyderverse respected Superman as an icon. This film treats him like a guest star in his own story. Oh, and let's not ignore the drama. Some Snyderverse fans tried to organize a review bombing campaign, and while I don't condone that nonsense, I get the frustration. Gunn ends out here dismissing the Snyder faithful with a smug lol. We'll survive on Threads, like he's above it all. Newsflash, James. You don't get to reboot the DC Universe and act surprised when fans of the old guard push back. The Snyderverse had a vision, a cohesive aesthetic, and a fan base that believed in it. This film feels like it's trying to erase that legacy while pandering to everyone and pleasing no one. So what's the final word? Superman is an overstuffed, tonally confused mess that fails to capture the heart of the Man of Steel. It's a film that wants to be everything comedy, team-up, franchise starter, but ends up being nothing memorable. The CGI is lackluster, the characters are underdeveloped, and the story is so busy setting up the DCU that it forgets why we're here. For Superman. If you're looking for a definitive take on the character, go rewatch Man of Steel. Heck, even Superman Returns feels more respectful to the icon than this. This film is the cinematic equivalent of kryptonite, sapping the strength from a character who deserves so much better. As a Snyderverse fan, I'm not just disappointed, I'm heartbroken. We traded a bold, ambitious vision for a generic superhero romp that'll be forgotten by next summer.
Thanks, James Gunn.
Really nailed it. If you agree, disagree, or just want to yell about crypto's screen time, hit the comments below. Subscribe for more reviews where I probably won't be this mad. Or maybe I will. Who knows? DC is a wild ride these days. Until next time, keep believing in truth, justice, and a better Superman movie. Peace out.